Let's face it, LEGO is far from a perfect company. They've released minifigures with the wrong hair pieces, sets that fall apart if you just look at them the wrong way, and even released entire themes that literally no one wanted. So what's up LEGO fans, it's LEGO Man Cam, and in this video, I'll be looking at a bunch more of the biggest mistakes LEGO has ever made. Just like back in 2007 in the Star Wars Republic Cruiser, where LEGO once again made a mistake with one of the minifigures. Thanks to Jedi JAC Penguin for this footage, but you can clearly see that this set is supposed to include Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, an astromech, and a Republic captain and pilot. However, this set actually includes two Obi-Wan minifigures, as the Qui-Gon head is actually Obi-Wan's head from Attack of the Clones when he has a bigger and bushier orange beard. Quick editing note, I meant Revenge of the Sith, sorry, not Attack of the Clones. Please don't kill me in the comments. Anyway, back to the video. This isn't too big of a deal, since you can still differentiate between who is who, but the worst mistake here is that LEGO even advertised on the box that this set would include the correct Qui-Gon Jinn faceprint, so they were literally false advertising. At the time, if you contacted lego.com, they would of course send you a replacement head. However, this set is now 18 years old, so I doubt anyone really cares. Also, thanks to Monteek72 in the comments for reminding me of this one. The next mistake is a much broader one, and it's in regard to a theme that LEGO has seemingly abandoned over the past few years, or at least has completely forgotten what the theme was supposed to be to begin with. I'm of course talking about LEGO turning DC superheroes into pretty much just LEGO Batman. So many of you commented about this on the last video, about how upset you were in the direction that LEGO DC has been taken, and I completely agree. Over the past few years, LEGO has made solely LEGO Batman sets with numerous Batmobiles, tumblers, Batwings, and Batcaves, even with a 3-set wave based on the Batman movie from 2022. But what has happened to all the other DC heroes, like The Flash, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and just so many more? Well, many say that due to the failure of the DCEU, LEGO has kept away from DC sets based on other characters, even though so many of those sets in the early to mid 2010s were so incredible. However, things may be changing here as LEGO just recently released the Superman vs Lex Luthor mech. Now of course it should actually be Lex Luthor in a mech and not Superman, but regardless of this fact, at least LEGO has shown us that they still remember that more heroes exist other than just Batman. And with James Gunn's new DCU having just recently kicked off, with Creature Commandos and the Superman movie coming later this year, if the franchise does well, we will most definitely see more LEGO DC sets, or at least I hope so. We'll next flip back over to LEGO Star Wars, and this mistake came in the late 2000s, and once again is an issue with a minifigure. But similar to black-haired Kanan, this figure had a bad hair day too. This is Princess Leia, appearing in both set 10179, the Tantive 4, but also set 6212, the X-Wing fighter, based on Empire Strikes Back. The mistake with this figure is that her hairpiece is actually completely smooth, rather than having grooves in it and texture in it. I have a keychain of the correct minifigure, and you can see all the hair detailing here, whereas the one that's a mistake was completely smooth, having a similar hairpiece and finish to the Han Solo minifigure hair that we used to get back in the day. This figure wasn't as insanely rare as a few others, as there are quite a few on Bricklink still, both in her episode 4 and episode 5 attire, selling for about $400, which of course is still a ridiculous amount of money, but not as much when you compare it to some other regular figures like the Shadow Arf Trooper or Darth Revan. Overall though, I'm not entirely sure how this mistake slipped through LEGO's production quality standards, as something like this has never really happened since, but it's still a really fun oddity nonetheless. Now we'll take a look at something completely different. This isn't a LEGO theme, set, nor minifigure that's a mistake, but instead is a few LEGO colors. Just quickly though, if you are new to the channel or have seen a few of my videos and enjoy them, please consider subscribing. It's the #1 thing that you can do to help the channel grow. Anyway, the first color is reddish brown, or as a lot of LEGO fans affectionately used to call it, brittle brown. This is because for the majority of the 2010s, the dye that LEGO used to colour their reddish brown pieces made them extremely fragile and prone to cracking, snapping, and just shattering. For this reason, so many LEGO sets from the 2010s that feature primarily brown colour schemes are almost impossible to take apart without completely breaking. A set such as the UCS Sandcrawler from LEGO Star Wars is something that would just be a nightmare to take apart, and it is for this reason that I am yet to open my sealed sail barge from 2013 because I'm just so scared to break it. As well as reddish brown, dark red, a colour known for appearing on a lot of Republic-based vehicles from LEGO Star Wars, was also very fragile in the early 2010s. So much so that my Z95 Headhunter has had pieces snap off of it already, after I bought it from a garage sale just a few years ago. Luckily, LEGO has fixed this problem today, with dark red being fixed for a while now, and reddish brown, which took until 2019 for them to get up to the correct standard. It is for that reason that we can now see dark red and reddish brown in LEGO sets once again, just like the Coruscant Guard gunship for example. Speaking of Republic gunships though, another small mistake that LEGO made, once again in the Star Wars theme, was on the box for the UCS gunship in 2021. This set was decided upon by a fan vote, where it was the winner against either a Nebulon B frigate and a TIE bomber. But the mistake here is that LEGO accidentally put the Imperial logo on the box rather than the Republic one. The two logos are very similar, but how this one got through quality control is bizarre to me, especially since the logo on the instructions and in the sticker in the actual set was correct. In the last video, we looked at how the LEGO Ninja Turtles Shellraiser set had two separate versions due to the chassis being extremely weak and unstable, where the set was re-released with an additional 39 pieces. Similarly though, with the Wally Ideas set, only the 12th Ideas set ever made, and one that I think goes quite unnoticed today, this set had stability issues too. The set was initially delayed due to it having weak hinges in the neck section, which would allow the head to stand up straight, which I honestly can understand, as the weight distribution on this must have been really difficult to design for the LEGO designers. This issue only affected North America, however once the set was actually released, it was once again pulled from shelves due to another problem. The head could actually spin around like it was meant to, but it was actually spinning way too much, due to having an extremely loose connection and lacking friction in the neck joints. LEGO acknowledged this mistake and put out an official statement stating that the designers were back in the offices and designing a fix for it, and that the set would be returning to shelves once it got a reworked version. The set did eventually return, but looking at the set now, it only retailed for $60 in 2015, but is now worth over $300, as it was available for only just over a year after all of the problems that it faced. This is such a great set, and I think it probably needs a re-release sometime soon for all those crazy Disney fanatics out there. Next is a purely subjective take, and this was discussed by commenter Mason Sweetland. Now, I don't want to completely deem this as a mistake, but I want to have a quick discussion about the release of Captain Rex in a microfighter this year. Many people see this as a mistake on LEGO's part, as the figure was said to be exclusive in the instructions of the $600 UCS Venator, but an identical figure was later released in a $15 microfighter the following year. Personally, I have mixed views about this. I think the easiest way to just solve the problem would have been to change maybe the face print on the figure in the microfighter to keep the UCS one still exclusive, as LEGO did state in the instructions themselves the figure was exclusive. But of course, everybody needs to be able to access such a classic character like Captain Rex, so I am so glad they released him in a smaller set, since that was the first time that even I could get one too, since my mum refused to buy me the one in 2013. I even have this photo of 10-year-old me with it in my hands. Just heartbreaking. Last, we have something that was brought up by a number of commenters in the last video and this is the reboot of LEGO Bionicle in 2015, which was a complete failure. Now, I'm personally not very familiar with Bionicle at all, however, after reading through numerous Reddit posts and online articles, it seems as though the reboot lacked the same storytelling and intrigue of the original theme, with a more basic release of figures. However, there are actually many people as well praising the reboot, stating that the theme's marketing strategy against bigger themes like Ninjago is one of the main reasons for its failure, or even that kids of the mid-2010s just weren't as interested in the construction-like figures from the mid-2000s. With all that being said though, that's another look at some of the biggest and worst LEGO mistakes ever. If you have any more, let me know so I can make a part 3, and if you went on to enjoy the video, please consider subscribing to help us reach 20k, and I will see you in the next one.